All right, happy early morning. I totally fell asleep in my computer chair and I just woke up and we're rolling into 3 a.m. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, I woke up sitting up. I do that all the time. Anyways, actually lately I've been waking up talking in my sleep, which kind of creeps me out a little bit because like I'm literally waking myself up and I'm like, who the frick was I just talking to? And then Jake's been coming out. He's like, Mom, you've been talking in your sleep lately. I'm like, what? He goes, I don't know what you're saying. He's like, but I'm catching it. So that's kind of funny sometimes. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to take the tape recorder out and see what I'm saying. Might shock myself. Maybe I don't want to know. I don't know. I don't know what the whole talk in your sleep's about, but whatever. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're gonna read this entire chapter. And as I was dozing off, I kept thinking about the next chapter, which is interesting. I already see that it's taking more and more twists, right? Because I look at marriage as an earth concept, not necessarily, I don't know. My ideas of marriage are a lot different. And I think it has a lot to do with how people don't take marriages seriously. They really don't. Like everybody, people screwing around on each other and suing each other through divorces. And, you know, how can I support something like that, right? Seems like such an institutionalized, man made, whatever. And then if you really want to break down marriage, this is what I was kind of dozing off thinking about. I'm like, whoa, this book's maybe taking a little bit of a twist. See, Bella, she's all about love, but marriage doesn't necessarily mean love. How many people are in arranged marriages where they don't even know each other and they gotta get married because the family said so? So, uh, somewhere along the lines, maybe in the next chapter, might touch more base on that. Um, I just think it's something it's just a money grabber, really. I think marriages used to stand for something way back in the day, but people don't take it seriously no more. Like I always said, if I were to get married, I would elope. Like I would do it under the moonlight in the middle of the bush, and nobody would know about it because that's how private I am. So if that's the way I feel, why the hell do you have to get married in the first place? Like why isn't love enough? Why do you need this contract? Why do you need the cake and the you know the bullshit? What's so necessary about that? Does that make your love that much more stronger? In fact, I think it makes it weaker because when you're not married, you're choosing daily to be with that person. When you are married, you're choosing daily by law. And if, and this is actually what I woke up with thoughts of, so I think it's important for me to make these verbal notes so I don't forget them. And I know some people may think it sounds cynical, but to each their own. I really don't think that being married to someone means you love them more than when you're not married to them. And if I want to take it even further, which goes even a little more crazier, is I just don't know if I'm supposed to ever be with somebody. Like I'm pretty good on my own. But I had said to my son Jacob, I said, Jacob, if I ever was to end up with somebody, I would need 3 bedrooms. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I need my bedroom, like my bedroom. And they need their bedroom. And then I said, we have a like a love nest. And that's it. You know, I think that's really important to have your own space. And I'm an introvert. I'm an odd combination of introvert, extrovert. So I like to get up in the middle of the night and write. That's when I'm most creative. And I don't like it when someone says to me, "Oh, where are you going? Like, why aren't you cuddling with me?" It's like, because I woke up really inspired, and if I don't get to my computer right now, I'm going to lose that seed. And that seed could be a whole full chapter of its own. And I know that sounds selfish, but the artist in me needs my personal space. And people that I have been involved with take that personally, like it's a personal hit at them, which is not. It's just that there's got to be a part of my world that is my world. And I think too many people when they get married, it's like they don't respect that people deserve their own space, and that you're not entitled to their entire brain space and heart space. That's called smothering. That's what Phoenix acts like when Jake comes home from work, but she's also a dog. Well, anyways, so I didn't wake up cynical. I just thought, that I really have no intentions of ever being married. You know, I don't think it's necessary. I think that a true love should be enough. And I think when you're not married, it actually shows maybe more depth of I really choose to be with you and not for legal reasons. It's because I love you. So to me, that's a little more sacred than saying, well, I'm with you because if we're not together, I lose a lot of money. Like, gross. That's not love. That's a, what the hell's a word? An agreement, I guess. So then I started thinking more about that when I just came out of this little sit up on my chair sleep I had. And I was like, people commit murder, people commit suicide, people commit adultery, people commit treason, people commit all these horrible crimes against whatever, and then people commit themselves to each other. It's like, how does that make sense? Like, just the word commit. So, anyways, I'm the type that would love to spend my life happily unmarried to somebody than spend my life mediocre, half satisfied, married to somebody. And if you want to take it even further, if you look in the mirror, right? I'm challenging you to look in the mirror and just say, this is like whatever your name is. Pretend you're a chick or a guy, or it doesn't matter. But for an example, I would look in the mirror and say, pretend I'm a significant other of mine. And be like, this is my wife, Sarah. Look at your face scrunch when you say wife. It's like there's this weird angry undertone of, well, this is my wife. And I looked in the mirror and said, wife. And I noticed it gets scrunchy here. This is my wife. My nose crunches. Kind of, your lips get tight. And I'm like, do people see what's happening? Or you look in the mirror and say, this is my girlfriend, Sarah. And then you say it with a smile, like you light up. This is my girlfriend. And you're happy. When you say, this is my wife, you instantly look angry. I didn't try it with the husband, but I tried it with the wife. And I'm like, oh, I don't want anybody ever making that look when they're talking about me. I like the girlfriend look. And then let's see. This is my husband. Very serious. This is my husband. It's very serious. This is my boyfriend. It's a smile again. The sun shines back. There's got to be something to it. But anyway, so, I know everybody's in this big rush to get married and be chosen for whatever shit that is, but I'm not one of them. Uh-uh. And the other thing about having the 3 bedrooms, I need my space. Everybody needs their private space. I like my posters, I like my crazy crystals, all my shit. So, should a guy have to wake up surrounded by crystals and psychedelic type posters and just me, my incense and my candles and just my me side? Or should a guy be able to wake up with what makes him happy? Maybe he likes race cars and he wants posters of race cars all around the room or whatever. So why should he compromise that? Why should he wake up in a room that feels so feminine to him? Why should I wake up in a room that feels so masculine to me? The other thing is, I like the love room because you don't take your arguments into that room. And that room, that's some sacred shit. So, the energy stays purified, is the way I see it. But the other thing is, you know, couples don't always get along. You're gonna have times where you really can't stand their face for a few hours because they really pissed you off, and that's natural. Like, anybody that says that's not natural, well, one of you guys are cheating because there's no perfect relationship. So you're going to have days where you really don't want to sleep next to the person. They piss you off, and that's natural. Well, I'm telling you, I have a really hard time falling asleep next to someone that crossed my boundaries. It doesn't mean that I'm going to carry it off into the next day. It means I need my space, and I don't want to cuddle you tonight. You don't deserve it. It's kind of like the dog in the doghouse. Like, you don't deserve my cuddles or my energy tonight. I shouldn't have to sleep next to you tonight because I don't want to be in your energy field for 8 hours straight. And vice versa. Like, maybe a guy may feel like his girlfriend, she treated him like shit, or she disrespected him, or she didn't appreciate something that he went out of his way to spend time to do for her, and she showed like no appreciation for it. So you think he wants to sleep next to her all night? No, he's like, just, things will be different tomorrow. Just, you need time to really think about what a bitch you were, right? And then you have the love nest. Well, it's kind of cute at the idea of having your own bedrooms. And let's say you did have an argument. Now it's like 3 in the morning and you really can't sleep because, fuck, you really wish you were cuddling your significant other. So then you gotta go with your tail between your legs, go knock on their bedroom door, hope they answer. Don't assume you're allowed to just walk in to their bedroom. Go knock on their bedroom door, pull some cute ass shit off, and invite them into the love nest room. They're gonna come into the love nest room because 9 times out of 10, they're sitting there moping too, right? So I think like reflection space is important, but I also think that you should not bring negative energy into your sexual sacred spaces. So I'd explain to Jacob that if I were ever to coexist again with a man, there would be 3 bedrooms. My bedroom, his bedroom, and our little secret getaway room. Because I think people deserve, you know? And then let's say over time, like you evolve together. Well then that little sacred love nest room with that pure energy, ends up, maybe you live that way for 5 years. And eventually, well, your bedrooms are empty and you're always in the love nest room. Well, now you're moving in together, right? And then your two other rooms maybe become your hobby rooms. Like, if that was the case, then, if it evolved into living in one bedroom where I actually want to wake up with you every single morning because we don't push each other's buttons and we have hit that level of best friend slash partnership where you are just so respectful of each other and you're beyond that weird phase of getting to know each other. Maybe, in the process of getting to know each other is learning each other's quirks, and sometimes they're not fun, right? And sometimes you don't want to wake up next to the person because they cross your boundaries, but it's not something you can't get through. It's just you need space. So then, let's say you pass all that bullshit and you get to a point where you're in extreme togetherness. Well, then my initial bedroom would become my writing room. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So, 3 bedrooms. And I said to Jake, a lot of people wouldn't sign up for that because it's not typical, right? And I'm 45 going on 46. My son's 23. It's not like I plan on having more kids. It's a little different when you're younger and you want to build a family. I think marriage is kind of different at that point. It helps the kids through school. My parents having the same last name, all that crap. But anyway, so I started thinking about all that stuff. Kind of dreaming about it, getting downloads about it, thinking about it. So I'm pretty sure my next chapter will be covering more of that angle in a creative writing context type way. Because don't forget, Bella has been celibate going on 6 years, single celibate, so she has no attachments like that. Like, she has no baggage, right? So she's at this really nice point in her life where does she actually want to sign up for a bunch of bullshit baggage? No. No, she doesn't. But does she want to spend the rest of her life waking up alone and going to bed alone? No, she doesn't. But she's not going to settle for anything but the best for her. What's the best for her isn't the best for the next person in life. But she's alone. She's not lonely. So she's not in a rush to tie it down with anybody. She's cool. She's chilled, right? But if she felt in her heart like the right alignment with somebody, and she would know after being single for so long and celibate for so long, you know what's right for you, you know what's not right for you. In fact, you know more than most people because you know thyself that much sharper. So, which is actually a compliment to any man that she opens up her heart to, because he's going to feel extra special that she's letting him in because she doesn't let anybody in. Okay, so let's read this chapter. But I'm just seeing where the next chapter is going towards is Bella is the type that doesn't need someone in her life. So if she ends up having someone in her life, they're really special because she's chosen it. Like, she's chosen to open up her world to somebody else, which she doesn't do easily. Not at all. So that's where I think the next chapter is going. And so then what friction evolves? Well, her and Bello they're coming into more of an alignment, I notice. I feel just as I was writing. And is Bella the type that is going to be like, you kidding me? We've been in separation for, I'm going to have a cigarette. We've been in separation for millennia and we finally align, and now you're against marriage. Like, what are we going to do about this? And I would, in a fighting argument, I would say, Jesus, we've been apart for millennia. Like, well, why is marriage so important? Don't you think that what we built together is enough, right? So maybe the problem that might arise is that he wants to lock her down, and she believes that the love they've built over so many millennia is enough. So then I think we'll probably ease into the topic of trust and loyalty. A lot of married people are the most dishonest and unreliable and disloyal people to their spouses. And other people that are just partners are completely loyal and honest to their partners. So there's I'm going to bring a lot of hot topics into this book for discussion, right? So that's kind of some of the stuff I think we're going to be coming. In the meantime, I'm going to put out this cigarette. I don't know why I felt the need to light a cigarette. Interesting. I felt a little stressed talking about that, apparently. Well, here we go. This is from beginning to end. Blurred lines. Daydream lover, where did you go? Are we aligned in this sacred gifted moment? Oh, mystical lover, I invite you to join me entrapped in an afternoon of mental lovemaking with yours truly. I invite you to bathe with me in the depths of our endless love over and over again, here in our sacred garden of secret togetherness on this beautiful sunny afternoon. Never expecting your spiritual arrival, simply wishing to feel your tender embrace as I gaze upon our sea of yellow roses, sending you serenity-filled, unconditional love and everlasting devotion to our mission of togetherness while in separation. Are you off Earth traveling, I ask myself, as I sit here leaned up against our overgrown purple lilac tree amongst our yellow sea of roses. As I wait here for you in silence, my mind replays so many private moments shared under the protective purple canopy of virgin blossoms engulfed while standing amidst, as a witness to so many countless lovemaking moments over the centuries of sacred union. Sacred togetherness, love, the crazy glue holding us united in togetherness through separation over the millennia. It's you and I, baby, our sacred place where time isn't realized, grudges never held, actions never judged, a primal love shared amongst us, two ancient immortals. Our secret universe, spiritually pure, untainted by any earthly aspects, unaffected by earthbound, non-factoring, intrusive fucktards. Approval amongst entrants runs on a foolproof frequency system, no different than being at a carnival. You must be a certain height to ride. Well, in our sacred garden, all energies must have an up to par frequency in order to enter our little piece of heaven, our little private paradise. In order for our sacred garden to remain in its purest, uncontaminated state, Without any exceptions, only high vibrational energies are capable of surviving amongst us chosen ones. Our sacred garden does not welcome any type of lower vibrational frequencies with absolutely no exceptions. Our secret garden does not welcome trespassers, not now, not ever. Here in our sacred secret garden, our frequency is our currency. It's a foolproof system, you see. It's synergy, baby. It's alignment. It's currency. It's frequency. It's liberation. It's about spiritual sovereignty. Our sacred secret garden is tended to by all spiritual beings whose frequencies are high enough to align with approval amongst entrants. It is in our sacred secret garden where downloads are retrieved and endless ideas are extracted from all aspects of its surroundings, from the tallest tree to the smallest grain of sand. No matter how big or small, all energies in our secret sacred garden holds meaning, truth, futuristic ideas, solutions to future problems, and endless possibilities to fill our earthling imaginative minds. Initially, it was myself and my love whom laid the foundation to our garden and the initial blueprints. We spent millennia in sacred togetherness, alone with the wilderness, the stars, the moon, the sun, and the healing waters. I still remember the very first time we encountered another spiritual being in addition to myself and my twin flame. He was admiring our grapevine and sneaking a few grapes in the process. As I watched the foreign earth being from the distance, I witnessed his reaction of approval as he bit into the juicy, vibrant purple grape and witnessed juice run down his chin as he smiled in abundant gratefulness. All things grown in our secret sacred garden are miraculous and filled with healing properties. The gift of maintaining a high frequency is the spiritual being is that the spiritual being is welcome to mentally venture here to our secret sacred garden to heal any and all aspects, to aid on their earthly trials, tribulations, obstacles, and tasks. This is the gift earth beings earn through maintaining within alignment on a high frequency and in their north node out of karmic debt. Water. Over time, more high frequency beings within alignment have beautifully created a soul family. As one's frequency raises to our standards, here at the secret sacred garden, without any effort or notice, their spirit will naturally find themselves here in the garden through dreams, including daydreams and meditations. As their spirit evolves, they will find their spirit end up spending more and more time healing here in the garden. However, as life throws earth travelers curveballs, many find themselves falling into temporary karmic debt. Fault is not considered upon entrance into our secret sacred garden, for our rules are non-negotiable. Circumstances change at any rate, therefore any karmic debt will decline entrance into the garden with absolutely no exceptions. However, the moment one's earth debt is cleared and residing back into their north node, Dharma frequency. They will instantly be granted entrance back into our secret sacred healing garden, back with the soul tribe. Basically, the secret is understanding and obeying at all costs the universal law of cause and effects, which means everybody's welcome provided you raise your frequency. And when your frequency lowers for whatever reason, well, you can't come back in until you raise it again. And that can be on, like, let's say someone develops they go through hard times and they start drinking hard and they get into some cocaine. Well, your frequency is super low, so until you clean up, go to rehab, and quit your shit, well, you're not going to be able to reach the frequency of being able to reside in the sacred secret garden. So it's open to all, but you have to come with the right frequency. Nothing's permanent. Everything is fluid, including our emotions, right? And that leaves room for change. So if people put the effort into becoming the best versions of themselves, well, doors open up for you spiritually, such as being able to reside on realms that miraculous, and that's true. Well, let's continue. Many spiritual beings unite with their soulmates and twin flames here in the secret sacred garden. On Earth, many twin flames and soulmates are in separation on the Earth realm, living parallel life experiences, but apart by 1 degree in separation. On Earth, 1 degree separation is best described as being a ghost in each other's lives, trapped in the tunnels of time on separate timelines. So you feel each other, but you can't see each other because you're on different timelines, and that all goes through frequency, right? But you can jump timelines through raising your vibration and frequency. Yeah, you can bend time, you can jump timelines, but you gotta be pretty experienced for that kind of stuff. Well, anyways, let's continue. Okay, on Earth, 1 degree separation is best described as being a ghost in the other's life, trapped in the tunnels of time on separate timelines. Yet, through alignment and maintaining a high frequency, the two are able to unite spiritually here in the sacred garden. Therefore, when earth travelers wake up from dreams where they swear they were living a completely different yet familiar existence with familiar yet unfamiliar people, it is actually here where their spirit was experiencing their higher selves timelines. Very cool, right? Yeah. Okay. The longer one remains in alignment and on a high frequency, the more they are capable of experiencing deep healing in longer periods of time here on the sacred timeline, in the heavenly realm. But you have to be on a certain frequency. 1 minute here in the garden is equivalent to a week on earth. See, do you understand how heaven can be on earth? Because if everybody raises their frequency, then everybody shifts up to the timeline of the heavenly realm with on the timeline of the secret sacred garden. And that's why if everybody just competes with themselves to be the best versions of themselves, then we all ascend to that heavenly realm together. Make sense? Okay. Perfect. Just showing you guys how to live. Just kidding. Let's go. Okay, so um On Earth, 1 degree separation is best described as being a ghost in the other's lives trapped in the tunnels of time on separate timelines. Yet, through alignment and maintaining a high frequency, the two are able to unite spiritually here in the sacred secret garden. Therefore, when Earth travelers wake up from dreams where they swear they were living a completely different yet familiar life with familiar yet unfamiliar people, it is actually here where their spirits are experiencing their higher selves timelines. Yeah. Well, the longer one remains in alignment and on a high frequency, the more they are capable of experiencing deep healing in longer periods of time here on the sacred timeline of the heavenly realm. 1 minute here in the garden is equivalent to a week on Earth. Now that gets a little twisted too, because to go on autopilot for a week on Earth, you better have all your I's crossed or I's dotted, T's crossed, and ducks in a row, right? It's like taking a mental vacation. You better have your shit in order. Well, anyways. This can cause a lot of confusion to the Earth traveler's experience. Think of how fast 5 minutes passes while standing in a beautiful garden. Passes pretty fast, right? Right. Therefore, spending 10 minutes here in the secret sacred garden spiritually means you are absent from your Earth traveler's experience on the Earth realm for 10 Earth weeks. A lot can happen on Earth in 10 Earth weeks when your spirit is away from its physical meat suit. Well, on the Earth realm, myself and my twin flame are in separation. We're essentially ghosts in each other's earthly experience. We feel a great love out there amongst the stars. We emotionally feel the loss and the separation, but have absolutely no clue where to find each other because we're on totally different timelines. You don't even know what incarnation they're in. Like, let's say, for an example, tomorrow's not promised. So her twin flame, initially, he descended like 16 years or something like that before she did. And that's where he took a little piece of her with him, and she's been fragmented ever since. But anyways, you don't know how many incarnations he's had. So she could be like in her 40s, and he could be like in his 90s, or he could be a little kid, or he could be a guy in his 20s. She doesn't know because it's his spirit, not his physical meat suit. And that's where things get so complicated when you get lost in the tunnels of time. So sometimes your twin flame could actually come back as your child. Creepy, right? So it gets really confusing. It all gets super confusing. But we'll go down those roads as they rise. Because, like I said, I'm not sure where this book's going. It has its own heartbeat. It's alive. It's its own universe now. Let's continue. Okay. So on the Earth realm, myself and my twin flame are in separation. We're essentially ghosts in each other's earthly experience. We feel a great love out there amongst the stars. We emotionally feel the loss and separation, but have absolutely no clue where to find each other. The longing and missing is true. It's real, yet it's not tangible, so it must remain private. Otherwise, to the average person, you would look unstable. Oh, how I miss my twin flame. I miss all the time we spend together in the beginning, building this garden so many millennia and moons ago, building over the centuries, sowing seeds over the decades, consistency over so many lifetimes in separation. Now, let's say when I said like different incarnations and how these twin flames get lost in the tunnels of time on different timelines, and in some incarnations they could end up being your child or something, right? This is where it gets complicated because that's just on the earth realm. But the minute the vibrations raise to the sacred secret garden, then the twins always show up as their higher selves. Like they'll show up as Bella and Bello, not like a mother and son or something. So that may explain why sometimes um, some people just click instantly and some people don't. Because it's not just twin flames, it's soulmates, right? And that's why people with age gaps can be on the same level, because age is just a number, you know. Unless you're getting to the minors, keep your hands away from the minors. But you know what I mean. You know, I find that necessarily I'm not drawn to people younger than me. I'm always drawn to people older than me. So at 45, I find men in their 60s and sometimes 70s attractive. And so what, right? But I always I find I'm drawn to people older than me, not younger. No. I've never been able to. No. I don't know. Because I don't know. I've always just kind of been in the direction of people that are older than me. I have dated several people that are a lot older than me. Maybe I have daddy issues. I won't deny that. I don't know. But let's continue. Anyway. Okay, so on the earth realm, myself, my twin flame are in separation. We're essentially ghosts in each other's earthly experience. We feel a great love out there amongst the stars. We emotionally feel the loss and separation, but have absolutely no clue where to find each other. The longing and missing is true. It's real, yet it's not tangible, so it must remain private. Otherwise, to the average person, you would look unstable. Oh, how I miss my twin flame. I miss all the time we spent together in the beginning building this garden so many millennia and moons ago, building over the centuries, sowing seeds over the decades, consistency over so many lifetimes in separation. So remember I said they could come back as your kid or whatever. Well, lifetimes in separation is in like that love unity relationship separation. So let's say in an incarnation, your twin flame comes in as your child. It's not going to come in with a sexual feeling, but that child's coming in to teach you lessons and to test you. Because that's what twin flame journey is all about. Testing each other hardcore so you can evolve, which means the one soul you share together evolves through dual effort. We'll get into more of that. I told you I'm a pretty deep writer, but let's continue. Okay, so it is through the lives we spent in separation, spent lost in the tunnels of time, when I strongly smell the scent of you amongst the crunch of the colorful fall leaves here in our secret sacred garden, serving as a reminder to my longing heart, You are always simply a thought away. Yeah, you're right. As I sit here alone amongst the falling crunchy fall leaves, just next to the sea of yellow roses, I am brought back to the very beginning of love remembered through the once delicately detailed blueprint of our yellow sea of roses. Oh my, where have all the years gone? I question as I stare off over the endless sea of yellow roses, yellow rose blanket filled with millennias of hope and promises yet to be fulfilled. In silent meditation, my spirit sun gazes intentions to magnetize your spirit into my orbit, here in our own special little universe. My sweet darling, how I miss your tender, soul-filled embrace. I've avoided venturing beyond the meadows here to the sacred place where we began. Down here, next to our special purple lilac tree, surrounded and engulfed in a sea of yellow roses, I so wish you could be here with me to enjoy the view of the fruits of our combined labor. We've truly created a magnificent paradise simply through our love-filled thoughts. Frustrating as it is to be a ghost in your earthly universe experience, I still find myself smiling here under our purple lilac tree, fully confident our spirits are closer in alignment than they have been in centuries. Sweetness shadowed in bitterness is the feeling arising as I sit here alone in the absence of your tender embrace, staring off over and beyond the vast sea of yellow roses, each rose planted from seeds of pure intentions, activates my current surroundings with so many vibrations of love, yet at the very same time also activated in my immediate environment are vibrational shadows of loss and pain, also laying silently in all the love accumulated silently for each other over the centuries of our physical incarnations of earthly separation. I need some water. All right. With that being said, my love for you never wavers. On the contrary, my love, our love is stronger than ever, treasured safely. Here in the soil embedded is our love for each other in every core root of every single yellow rose blossomed and all the ones still yet to blossom. I so do wish you could experience through my eyes the vastness of our sea of yellow roses. It brings so much confidence and reassurance. Our love for each other has never stopped growing, has never stopped blossoming, and is stronger than it has ever been. We've evolved so much over the centuries of physical separation. I have finally came to the conclusion our separation has always been nothing more than an illusion, for I can assure you dreams have never been made in any of my beds I've slept in where your beautiful soul hasn't embraced mine in physical union. I've chosen celibacy, my darling. Either your arms are wrapped around my existence as my one true protector, or nobody will embrace me. It feels wrong, it feels dirty, as though I'm cheating on you. It has been years since I felt the uncomfortable embrace as another. Although going through the typical motions, in the end, I felt dirty. I felt guilty. I felt like I lost a little piece of us every time I sunk into the arms of another. Going on 6 years of sacred isolation, and I have never felt more whole since the last time we shared a tender embrace together. Centuries ago. If this overgrown purple lilac tree could talk, we'd be in trouble. So many hours embraced under the purple canopy of this tree. We definitely haven't stored endless hours of private and naughty secrets. Ooh. Of private embraces and stolen kisses. Sweet. That sounds spicy. Anyway, some of my most precious sacred moments with you have occurred under this beautiful purple aromatic canopy of ours. Misty floral aromas dripping upon our natural naked bodies, gently caressing our uninterrupted embraces, with her succulent rain essence dripping from the tips of her moistened blossoms, as the warm, gentle wind blankets our union with the aromatic vastness of fresh yellow rosebuds, on the brinks of opening their sacred lips, disguised as rose petals ready to experience the world surrounding them. The world you and I created with all of our thoughts, good, bad, and indifferent. It's all us, baby. Every part of our sacred, secret garden has been made through all of our earthly experiences throughout the centuries. Hence why I'm able to sit here under the purple lilac tree, humbled in love and gratitude. I know with every drip of my essence, as long as our garden is still thriving, so is our love for each other. As above, so below, my sweet darling. As long as the heartbeat of our garden is still thriving, so is the heartbeat of our love for each other. These little sacred garden check-ins of mine reassure me, easing my spirit of any fears of loss and reassuring my spirit. Although in physical separation, we are still us here in the spiritual realm. And somehow that is enough for my spirit to gain reassurance. The truth, our chalice of love is still abundant and in overflow for one another. Reassurance, we're both still committed to our divine mission. Although in physical separation, we are still us and we are still thriving. Although physically in separation, our souls are still united. Our ancient millennia's old love still strong, still committed, still only a simple thought away. The celibacy has helped tremendously. I feel you so close to my spirit. I love you. I'll always love you. My unwavering promise to us, a promise I will never break, not ever. Bella rose from sitting against the overgrown purple lilac tree to collect some yellow roses and a few purple lilac blossoms so she could neutralize the bird cage one of the witches left at the front gate she noticed upon her initial arrival here at the garden. It was essential she neutralize the cork-filled bird cage before descending back down to the earth realm and re-enter her earth meat suit. Bella noticed one of those amateur witches tried to manipulate their way past the entry to her garden. Nonetheless, they failed frequency admission. What is the meaning of insanity again? Oh, that's right. Doing something more than 3 times and expecting a different result. Those witches have centuries of accumulated debt to clear before they'll ever be able to pass through our garden's frequency detection, foolproof system. Water. I need water. Okay. Mm. Needless to say, my Bello, one of those hideous non-playable characters, left a bird cage filled with wine corks. Should you come here and see one of those cork-filled bird cages, don't touch it. Rather, come down to our yellow sea of roses here. Pick some roses and lilacs. On your way out, cover the birdcage with yellow rose petals and lilac blossoms. This will neutralize any and all hexes and curses they've attached, and all projections and negative intentions will be returned directly back to sender promptly. Boomerang, baby. Well, I noticed these cork-filled bird cages a couple of decades ago being placed at our garden's gate's entrance. It's Crystal, most likely, if not directly her, that is one of her minions. What's the meaning behind the cage wine corks, you may ask yourself? Let me cut through all the confusion and simply enlighten you a little bit on black magic. A birdcage filled with wine corks represents confinement, binding, and containment. The witch and or warlock will drink a bottle of wine, focusing on dark projections and attacks at their targeted victims. The birdcage acts as a form of a sour jar or a witch's bottle, designed to trap a person and block their path. Basically, they use it as a seek and destroy tactic. Really mature, right? Yeah, okay. They seriously need to get a better hobby, but I'm not complaining, because as long as they continue to play their silly little games, their vibration will remain in karmic debt, which in return keeps our garden pure of their karmic, dirty energy. It's a win-win situation, right? Well, while wine corks can be used in a positive ritual to create social union, when placed inside a cage structure, the intention shifts towards a restriction spell. The cage symbolizes locking someone or something away, preventing their victim's freedom of speech or any type of free action to stand up for themselves. These witches and warlocks also used the cage cork technique to try to block forward movement in career and finances. Aren't they so cool? Yeah. And lots of them are like seniors. That's the saddest part. Or in their like late 50s and up. Super sad. Early 50s. It doesn't matter. They're all pathetic. But let's continue. The cage symbolizes locking someone or something away, preventing their victim's freedom of speech or any type of free action to stand up for themselves. These witches and warlocks also use the cage cork technique to try and block forward movement in career and finances. Just a bunch of losers stealing from truly gifted earth travelers. Don't realize that when they don't hit their target, they become their own target. Duh. But I guess that they don't teach that in Black Magic 101 School of Fucktards, now do they? Let's continue. These witches and warlocks are delusional. After the Great Fall of the Witches back in February of 2026, they've been rendered powerless in all their bullshit without any actions of another boomerangs, and are instantly returned to sender automatically. For what? Eternity? Like what? Like a wasp stings repetitive and never loses its stinger. Can't pinpoint where the sting is coming from. Oh, but it's consistently there. As a reminder, maybe these witches and warlocks should start playing in their own playground and get out of other people's playgrounds where they're not welcome, don't belong. Riding in their own lane, they should try that too. Or better yet, maybe take the higher road to redemption. Wonder if they'll ever think of that one. Not my life, not my concern, not my fucking problem. Don't care. Not at all. I'm just thankful after so many centuries of destruction, they are now rendered powerless and over time have evolved into the examples of what not to do if you ever want to rise above the realms of hell and the title of non-playable character, empty vessel. Well, the witch or warlock will write names or identifying information or symbols on the cork of the wine bottle they are using to cast their useless spells. This represents the specific earthling they are trying to bind. It is a form of trapping energy, attempting to. Similar to a witch's bottle, the cage acts as a container filled with negative energy, intentions of bad luck, and creating chaos in specific earthlings' lives. The cage traps the accumulative negative energy like a supply chamber, preventing the witch or warlock from receiving any form of karmic justice for their indiscretions towards innocent earth beings. But now they've been rendered powerless, so all their magic is going back to them. Ooh, we're definitely depopulating quick just by getting rid of all these losers through their own black magic backfires. I think it's hilarious. Let's continue. I think it's actually really funny. Getting killed by your own magic. Hey, like you committed suicide. If you put death spells on people and it boomerangs back to you, you're gonna die. That's all there is to it. You're not gonna see it coming. It'll be like a car accident or something that nobody would link together, but you're gonna die. If you put death spells on other people and you don't hit your target, you're gonna die. If you put death spells on other people's kids and it doesn't hit the target, your kids are gonna die. Doesn't mean today or tomorrow, but they're gonna die unnatural deaths and early in life because of what you did. It's your fault. Or your kid might end up with stage 3 cancer or something horrible. Well, when that happens randomly and the doctors can't understand why, take a look in the mirror and blame your fucking selves. That's because you're horrible parents that like to play in magic and don't know what you're fucking with. You are cursing your bloodlines. Well, let's continue. The cork represents the caged bird, the cage targeted victim, representing the entrapment of their souls. So the targeted victim feels trapped, feels silenced, and is unable to move forward freely on their life's mission. Basically, these useless witches and warlocks have convinced themselves they're more powerful than the Lord Most High. Ew, challenging the Lord, hey. You're a retard, but let's continue. Well, like I said, after the fall of the witches in February of 2026, they just look like delusional drunks. Walking examples of everything not to do if you like to successfully ascend out of the lower realms of these non-playable characters, whose vibrations and karmic debts keep them bound in the lower realms of existence, once referred to the pits of hell, purgatory, limbo, that fun stuff. Well, the worst part is they don't even realize everyone is laughing at them. And their magic instantly boomerangs back to them. So it does. So they convince themselves outside sources are attacking them, but in reality, they're being attacked by their own magic, being eternally returned to them through return to senders and instant karmic divine boomerangs. You guys really didn't know what you were getting into. You thought playing with magic was fun. Well, welcome to the downside of fucking around with shit you don't understand, huh? I laugh at you. I laugh hard. I laugh every time. I know better than to fuck around with stuff that I don't understand. And I equally know just as well not to fuck around with stuff that I do understand. If it's too easy to be true, it's too easy to be true. You can chant naked all you want and, have all the little orgies you want. It's not going to change reality. You're going to be taken out. Yeah. I'm sure all those blackmail videos of what you guys actually do during your little rituals are going to be publicly exposed, like worldwide. Is that what we're going to call the big 10-day blackout? We just get to see all you guys' dirty orgies. That's enough to blind me. Let's continue. Anyway. Gross. The thought of half you naked one makes me want to vomit in my mouth. But anyway, so basically, the birdcage represents a vessel of restriction. The wine cork represents marked targets. Some witches and warlocks will add additional items such as rusty nails, needles, and pins. The intention behind these additional items is the intention to prick or cause pain to the target of choice. The dark witches and warlocks, whom really like to play in black magic, drink red wine rather than white wine. Red wine represents drowning or overwhelming negativity, but as I said, they've been rendered powerless. So you get into shit like this, you're just gonna look like a drunk, a slobbering drunk, where your wine becomes like embarrassing truth serum. The best is so yet to come. I'm excited for all this humiliation. Like the right people are gonna be going through the worst humiliation rituals, and on a worldwide scale, like we all get to laugh at them and witness it, because that's what happens when you commit crimes against humanity. Yeah, you learn about humility, that's for sure. And from our creator himself. Let's go. Should you ever be at someone's home whom had a birdcage filled with wine corks, be certain you are in the home of a witch and or a warlock. You are in an environment of chaos and distraction. An environment which cannot be trusted, and it is in your best interest to cord cut all connections to anyone you know who dabbles in the dark arts such as birdcage cork trapping. You never know when your name will be added to a cork as one of their targeted victims. Who knows? Maybe you were caged already without your knowledge. These types of non-playable characters are severely mentally disturbed, and it's in your best interest to shut them completely out of your energetic field. Should you ignore this warning and your life starts going to shit, remember my face. And remember I tried to warn you, and you, of your own free will, chose to ignore me as usual. Consider this your one and only final warning concerning trapped wine corks entrapped in bird cages. Do not ignore these red flags. I will never give you any more warnings. Because I'm done with speaking upon daft ears. Well, anyways. It wasn't uncommon to hear Bella talking aloud to her bellow while venturing the garden, especially down at their special spot where the overgrown purple lilac tree stands firm and steady amongst the yellow sea of roses. You know, Bello, now when I come down here to our yellow sea of pure intentions, I rest my head against old purple over there and allow my spirit to melt into the thoughts of you and I, as though we don't have centuries of lifetime of separation between us. We are each other's defying. We are each other defying time and space. Two bodies sharing one soul. Needless to say, I want you to know every time I think of you, which is a hell of a lot more than I'll ever admit to. I want you to know I hold you in the highest regards, wishing you so much love, wishing you so much peace, wishing you so much joy, wishing you will forever continue to unconditionally love me as I continue to unconditionally love you. Everlasting. It is here amongst the yellow sea of roses where I feel your energy pulse through my entire body from head to toe. Let's get it electrical. Anyway, missing your touch, missing your essence, missing the feelings of true completeness. Is it wrong I refuse to let go of a love once shared so many centuries ago? A love like no other love I have ever experienced since. Am I out of line for holding on to a love so sacred I cannot let go of it even with thousands of lifetimes between us? Between incarnations and years of separation, in between the time we experience being us. Bello, I put honest effort into trying to successfully navigate my current earth realm existence alongside and your spiritual realm relationship. And what? Bello, I put honest effort into trying to successfully navigate my current earth realm existence alongside mine and your spiritual realm relationship. I need to admit, these past couple of decades, I am losing my balance in my earth realm existence, for I come here to the garden more than I have over the past few thousand years, searching for alignment with you. When we align, it is just short of a miracle, but then the experience lingers into my earth traveler's experience, and I begin to long for your love on an actual solid ground level. I feel your presence near me on earth more than I have in thousands of years. I begin to question if this is the incarnation where we physically unite once and for all. Wishful thinking, right? Oh, I know. But something feels different this time. Maybe, just maybe, even just to physically feel the gentleness of your lips upon mine for a brief moment would push me through another few thousand years. God knows every man I've kissed since then feels like I'm kissing my brother, and it makes me want to vomit in my mouth. I miss that kiss. My heart and soul is longing for you, but like every other emotion, this one shall pass. Maybe, or maybe, just maybe, we will finally be granted our forever togetherness on solid ground. I mean, anything is possible, right? Water. Longing for you used to be fun. It used to be simple, like a sneaky hidden escape I hid from the rest of the world. Mine and yours, our private little pure universe, on solid ground when I want to feel your energy in my orbit. It's as simple as grabbing a coffee, a joint, a cigarette, and heading down to the closest sunrise or sunset, depending on the time of day and weather permitted, of course. I focus intentionally on your beautiful face and it works every time. I don't physically see you. I feel you inside of me from head to toe. Oh, nice. You feel the good vibrations from head to toe. Anyway, don't kid yourself. I feel when you pull on my energy. This is a two-way tease game we're playing here. Snagging each other's spirit to take a loving, energetic adventure, a great escape act from the terrible Earth stage actors spreading nothing but boredom and bullshit. Our spirit's safe place, my most favorite place in the universe, is anywhere our soul unites and celebrates the purity of true love unified. For it is where I find you, is where I find missing pieces of my fragmented self. Lately I'm losing grip. I'm losing my spiritual balance. And this I have yet experienced up until very recently. I've always been very satisfied with our little telepathic spiritual sneakaways, but they are no longer satisfying my also craving spirit, apparently. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I fear I'm shapeshifting into a lost little puppy dog searching for her master. I don't know what's with the master shit. The captain of her heart. Oh, how cheesy. I get cheesy when I write. People don't get this side of me. I get really, what's the word? I'm feeling vulnerable. Anyway, the captain of her heart. Cheesy. Cheesy, this I'm aware of. Thank you very much. I'm feeling this push for more, though. More beyond our spirit's alignment together in our secret sacred garden. More so, I'm craving to experience you in the physical on solid ground. Beyond our sacred, secret spiritual garden. Let's continue. Everything shines differently here in our sacred, secret garden, my sweet Bello, as though the sun shines tones of magenta here. In the garden, tones which I've yet to see shine on the realm of earth. The realm of tests and causes and effects. But Bella spoke aloud into thin air, as though she simply expected her voice would without question reach Bello's soul, no matter where he was or what he was experiencing on the earth realm. This was the type of connection they shared, a connection which can never be severed or broken. They never disrespected each other. The energy of pure and divine love is never created nor destroyed, simply exists like a divine transmitter, aligning two divine beings on frequency waves when they would like to communicate with each other. Twin flames consist of one soul divided into two bodies. So divine transmitters are necessary in order for the soul to avoid confusion and delay. This form of communication process strengthens the soul's evolution since two individual vessels experience different earth travel experiences. which in turn evolved the soul as a whole that much faster and efficiently. Because you have two people basically building one soul through test trials, tribulations, and passing those test trials and tribulations. La da da da. Basically, Bella and Bello are a dream team whom share the same soul, and when they are both devoted to their mission, the one soul they share between them evolves that much faster and smoothly. Hello. I'm beginning to remember the great fall of my beautiful blue-eyed Bello. I remember the hesitation in Professor John's voice when we accepted our mission to return and descend down to the realm of Earth to aid the trapped Earth beings in finding their inner light so they can earn their entrance into our secret, sacred healing garden. The hidden heavenly realm, the realm so few gain access to. How often I lay wide-eyed in my physical bed on the earth realm questioning if this was all worth it. That what would have happened if we had refused our mission so many moons ago? Would our love still be strong? Had we not chosen to descend into separation, back to an old world we once knew? An ancient world we believed at the time was the only realm in existence. Oh, silly us. I sit here with my head propped up against this big old sacred purple lilac tree, accepting the truths my earth mind simply is incapable of decoding. You and I made a brilliant gardening team before we accepted our mission of descension. Oh, how I miss our existence in togetherness so many thousands of moons before the theory of physical time was created to create a form of structure on the Earth realm. Another ancient theory created so many moons ago to aid in the evolution of Earth School. Do you remember why we created the existence of Earth time, my beautiful blue-eyed Bello? You should, my love. Initially, it was your idea. Yes, I do, Bella. I remember the exact moment I carefully planted the seed of Earth time here in our garden so many moons ago. The seed of time I planted created the valley to your left, filled with all those beautifully colored forget-me-not blossoms. I planted those seeds here in our special spot with the intention to create a dual purpose. I applied the as above, so below universal law, while delicately planting those particular seeds of Earth time. The purposeful intention in the creation of Earth realm time was to create physical seasons on the Earth realm. In return, each season evolved naturally on their own. Spring, summer, winter, and fall. This amazing evolution successfully created distinctive division, eventually evolving into the existence of Earth travelers measure into the existence of how Earth travelers measure their soul's evolution in what is now referred to as Earth years. Time was a subverted factor in the blueprint's creation of Earth years. Earth years' true purpose is to aid Earth beings in measuring the progress and evolution of their personal soul's growth. Well, the challenge is the illusion of separation, for separation aids in the overall evolution of humanity as a whole. It is up to each Earth traveler to strive to be the absolute best version of themselves, with the belief all Earth travelers are completely separate entities from one another. This illusion of separation plays a very important role in the evolution of humanity because, in order for humanity to evolve smoothly and successfully, all individuals must adopt the truth. The only competition in their soul's spiritual experience of having a human experience is the only competition which will aid in their soul's ascension higher is a competition they have with thyself. Any and all other competitions Earth travelers attempt to have with other Earth travelers breaks universal laws, and karmic punishment is then applied to their individual souls' incarnation blueprints automatically. Each and every time an Earth traveler attempts to compete with another Earth traveler, their blueprint is adjusted and karmic correction is applied. This is how karmic loops are formed and blueprints are adjusted accordingly. Karmic debt is added to the Earth traveler's original blueprint because the Earth traveler disrupted the divine blueprint, which created a wave and overall created a rippling imbalance on the entirety of the Earth realm as a whole. Our Creator does not take lightly to those whom trespass divine orders such as disruption of peace in another Earth traveler's spiritual experience as an Earth being. No other living creation has the right to attempt to alter the blueprints of another Earth traveler's journey except for the Creator himself. Right. I thought that was common sense, but apparently you narcissists don't have common sense. So, welcome to reality check, idiots. Well, anyways, this moronic act of sheer stupidity is referred to as divine treason, and all those whom go against this divine universal law are divinely held back accordingly. In extreme cases, should an Earth traveler attempt to alter or rewrite a divine being's, like a chosen one's, blueprint on a divinely appointed mission, the trespassing Earth traveler will be by spiritual laws stripped of any divine gifts they arrived on planet Earth, the Earth realm with. Initially, severe karmic debt will be applied to their soul's journey internal file. Any forms of accumulated wisdom and or knowledge from previous Earth incarnations experiences will be completely omitted from their eternal soul's file of remembrance. The non-playable character will be sent to the Soul Recycling Center, some referred to as Purgatory, where they will reside indefinitely with no guarantee of ever being granted the opportunity to experience Earth School again. Left free-falling in eternal darkness and solitude for however long, our Divine Creator decides is appropriate in proportion to the treasonous acts committed. In extreme cases, the Earth Traveler whom attempted to adjust another Earth Traveler's blueprints, their entire bloodline, beginning with their children, will be wiped out completely, and their bloodline will end completely. Right? It'll just be done. This is the process of divine purification. Through trial and error, we understand that the apple doesn't fall that far from the tree, now does it? So we need to just eliminate the whole family tree. Well, let's continue. Hence the illusion of separation being so incredibly important. All souls, whether united or not, create the body of Christ consciousness. It is the accumulation of individual Earth travelers' journeys of competing with only self, which determines how quickly or slowly humanity evolves as a whole. The process of divine purification is to eliminate all spiritual beings continuously whom go against the flow of the living waters, which creates ripples and unnecessary waves, and resistance, slowing down the evolution of humanity, creating unnecessary imbalance, and hinders our divine creator's divine plans. Stepping on our divine creator's etheric toes, so to speak, so to spiritually speak, is one of the stupidest attempts any earth traveler can attempt to make. You are a fucking moron. You people. I'm just going to shut up and just give it to God. Shit's already hitting the fan. I see it. You guys can pretend your lives are perfect, but trust me, those of us who have eyes to see, we see. We know what's going on behind the scenes. We see people avoiding phone calls because it's nonstop credit collectors, but keep walking around pretending you're on top of the world. Yeah, all right, let's continue. Hence why the punishment ends up being so severely humiliating. Our Creator does not appreciate his minions trying to override his authority, so he'll use these treasonous earth beings as a supreme example before sending them into spiritual jail, otherwise known as purgatory, limbo, hell. Over the centuries, our Lord Most High is becoming extremely creative in how he deals with these little viruses known as narcissistic, non-playable character empty vessels. These empty vessels never see it coming until it's way too late. And he ensures the humiliation goes deep within the soul of Christ's consciousness for all to experience as sheer spiritual comic relief. It is the accumulated laughter from the collective which aids in lifting the vibration as a whole on the earth realm. This is how our divine creator restores balance that non-playable temporarily created on the earth realm. He transmutes shit quick, fast, and like a thief in the night. And sleeping with one eye open isn't going to change shit for you losers. Well, let's continue. An overwhelming sense of gratitude filled Bella's entire energetic, spiritual being's aura as she knew Bella made it to the garden as she listened to his words like a beautiful melody singing to her soul. For their spirits aligned once again in the secret sacred garden they created so many millions of moons ago together in divine union as the most beautiful lover duel ever experienced on any realm throughout time, space, and endless universes. Unsure of how long their encounter would last for, Bella turned around to embrace the ultimate love of her eternal soul's experience, her twin flame, her beautiful blue-eyed Bello, the fragmented part of her soul which only made her whole with the embrace of he, the one and only, the only one whom she shared a soul with, her true eternal twin flame, her one and only beautiful blue-eyed Bello. My dear Bella, tell me, how is our love life on your end? On your current Earth traveler's experience? Bella questioned Bella, clearly cutting through any static bullshit. Very funny, Blue Eyes. Absolutely amazing. Very funny, Blue Eyes. To be completely honest, on my end of our soul's love life, current Earth evolution incarnation is advancing rapidly. Absolutely amazing. I'm involved in the healthiest, most wholesome relationship I have yet endured in up until this current Earth incarnation. Bella replied, anticipating Bella's natural jealous side of probing further. Advancing rapidly, hey? Absolutely amazing. Healthiest, most wholesome yet ever experienced. It's as though you're intentionally trying to hurt me, my tesoro. Obviously, I have absolutely no right to feel hostile or jealous. But my Bella, I'm feeling slightly hostile and insanely jealous at this current moment. If my vibration drops any more, you know I'll descend instantly back to the earth realm. And who knows how many more decades may pass before we perfectly align. Again, here in our secret sacred garden, my darling. It's best you find a quick way to raise my vibration so I can extend my visit here with you in our garden, if you know what I'm referring to. Bella replied, serious, yet at the same time implying some old time kinkiness, under the old purple lilac tree holding their most sacred, previous private moments over the millennia of spiritual sneaky link garden interactions. Advancing more rapidly than I had ever conceived possible. Amazing is an understatement. Most definitely the healthiest and without a doubt completely wholesome. And no, my beautiful blues, are my intentions ever to create friction within our soul when in union, emotions of pain, hostility, or jealousy. In fact, allow me the opportunity to explain the relationship I'm currently earthbound to. I promise the last feelings which will arise are those of pain, hostility, or worse yet, jealousy mixed with insecurity. Bella explained before being interrupted by Bella. All right, Miss Bella. I can feel my vibration lifting. Do tell. You have my spiritual undivided attention, Bella replied in a voice filled with sexy undertones of awe and intrigue. My current earthbound heavenly relationship I'm completely devoted to on the earth realm is an independent solo relationship in sacred isolation with thyself. Currently on the earth realm, I am brilliant at being a whole and independent woman whom worked her earthbound ass off at continuously and repetitively choosing to search for silver linings and darker caverns. A woman whom had to use advanced creative techniques in extracting joy and contentment in some of the murkiest situations handed to her always unbeknownst. Boulders creating waves in the living waters consistently created within our evolving soul creative ways to stay within the flow of the living waters, crushing through the waves with the inner knowing, calm waters were always ahead. Yeah, things always calm down. Like, you just gotta, go with the flow. Go with the waves, go with the tides, go with the rapid waves, but eventually it calms, and that's a guarantee. It's, it's how the pendulum swings, but eventually it settles. So the pendulum's gonna swing, but it's gonna settle eventually. And that's truth. Where is that thing? Okay, anyway, okay. I was gonna use an example with my hourglass, but I'm not. So anyways, let's continue. Okay. Without any seeds of doubt, calmer waters are always guaranteed ahead, regardless of any and all situations arising and surfacing through the inevitable stretching and growth processing of rising above and crushing Earth school tests. Bella explained long-winded. One of her natural quirks she attained at the beginning of the creation of the divine feminine aspect of our soul. Bella thought to himself as he enjoyed having these simple spiritual moments with his one and only true divine love, which only seemed to grow stronger over the centuries and millennia. One sec. Okay, centuries and millennia. So on the earth realm, the divine feminine aspect of our soul is single, is what you were long-windingly explaining to me? My lady, you know you're carving into our special time, if you know what I mean. Bello replied, implying he'd much rather spend their remaining time together in their secret sacred garden, in a private embrace under their ancient overgrown purple lilac tree, with the added privacy of the above overgrown curtains of fresh purple blossoms serving as heavenly aromatic privacy from the peeping eyes of the guy who's always at the grapevine sneaking oversized juicy grapes at his leisure. Bello giggles to himself, wondering how long it will be before the grape swiper realizes the grapes he's indulging in are magic, healing grapes, which aid tremendously in curing holes in his Earth's auric field. Eat on, my man, Bello thought to himself as he smiled at the beautiful garden he and Bella created millions of moons ago in the beginning of their garden's conception. What are you looking at, Bello? I thought we were discussing our soul's divine feminine's current experience as an earth traveler on the earth realm. Bella replied as she turned back to look at Bello, whom seriously looked like a deer in the headlights. I'm looking at the divine masculine over there, whom seems to be addicted to their magic grapes. I'm sorry for squirreling out on you. You have my undivided attention. Continue, my love. Basically, on the realm of Earth, you are solo and happily single. Nice. I'm not going to pretend this successfully single life you're currently experiencing on the Earth realm doesn't bring relief to my jealous ears. Bello explained as honest can be expressed. Let's go back. I'm not going to waste even a pepper flake of time discussing all the events which led up to the embarrassing... What? I'm not going to waste even a pepper flake of time discussing all the events which led up to me embracing the celibate and happily single approach to life. Earth life. The incarnation I'm currently earthbound to has been one filled with an insurmountable amount of trials, tribulations, obstacles, adversities, and challenges. Enough to send anyone over the edge. When Earth situations hit where my survival was at risk, I knew I had absolutely nothing left to do but fight for our soul, and fight harder than earthly possible. And once I hit that point, I knew I would have to push that much harder. And that is exactly what I did. It is as though one morning I woke and realized I was experiencing the one incarnation I had yet experienced: sacred solo isolation. I felt it through every fiber of my earthbound experience. It was as this was the incarnation our soul's evolution expected of me. The divine feminine aspect of our soul had to become whole once again since the great separation of you and I so many moon millennia ago. You took a part of me with you when you descended to planet Earth, which apparently was a very important part of my divine blueprint's purpose. When in the creation process of divine feminine wholeness, constantly striving for strength and maintaining resilience and constant perseverance through trials, tribulations, and non-stop earth obstacles. A dance I've honestly become finely attuned to. So finely attuned, in fact, I could teach the dance class of personal empowerment. Bella explained with a disappointment undertone attached. If your Earth Traveler's journey is so wonderfully amazing, my darling, why do you sound so disappointed? Bella questioned Bella. Bella questioned Bella, cutting through all the bullshit and getting straight to the point with divine precision of why Bella seems so disappointed in regards to her current Earth realm traveler's experience. Woman empowerment is great and all, but I still miss the aspect of the divine masculine. Not just any divine masculine to help pass by Earth time. I miss my divine masculine. I miss you, my beautiful blue-eyed Bello. I usually avoid venturing deep down past the meadows here to our special spot, holding so many ancient memories. Each time I venture this deep into our sacred secret garden, it feels emotionally risky. The moment the sea of yellow roses comes within my spiritual view, flashes of many sweet love-making memories pollute my mind's eye with many sweet moments of love-making and stargazing. Here, under the old purple tree, lines become blurred between my current earth realm experience and the experience of an ancient world we were once part of, filled with only us. So many times my spirit arrives here anticipating your arrival with so much hope, leaving saddened because our spirits weren't in alignment. Then I feel saddened and my vibration lowers, and within a blink of an eye, I'm back in my physical meat suit on the earth realm, once again feeling dense, engulfed in carbon-filled matter. Feeling so heavy and bogged down. The earth realm is so heavy and dense in comparison to here in our sacred secret garden. Daydreaming and fantasizing about you used to be enough to keep my loving vibration heightened. But somewhere down the line, my spirit craved more of you. The wanting turning into craving, and the craving turned into the truth. I can never replace you. Millennia of moons in between our incarnations together, and I'm still as in love with you now as I was then in the very beginning. Bella replied as he pulled Bella animalistically tight next to his firm chest, taking complete control of their current situation. Yes, Bella. Bella replied as she found herself restrained within Bella's tight grasp, their lips so close, their breasts united as one rhythmic heartbeat. Kiss me. He replied as his lips began magnetized to hers under their purple lilac tree of endless sacred spiritual secret love-making encounters over so many millennia and sacred centuries of sacred touches and mouth-watering moans of true love personified and perfected over time and distance, over longing, divinely appointed unconditional love. Divine twin flames is nothing to mess around about. Those whom doubt the journey of the truth behind the twin flame journey have clearly yet to experience one of their own. No relationship is capable of interfering and or replacing one of the twins. Simply impossible to replace half of a whole divine soul. So that whole destiny swapping is bullshit. You can't, because everybody's got a twin out there. So what are you gonna do? try to replace part of his soul, you guys are fucking morons. You're idiots. Don't worry. The world's all going to be laughing at you guys pretty damn soon. You failed destiny swappers. Well, anyways. Divinely appointed unconditional love. Divine twin flames is nothing to mess around about. Those whom doubt the journey of the truth behind the twin flame journey have clearly yet to experience one of their own. No relationship is capable of interfering and replacing one of the twins. Simply impossible to replace half of a whole divine soul. Temporary earth beings may fill the gap from time to time on the earth realm, but to completely switch out one of the twins permanently is completely impossible. No matter how much time passes between the twins, one way or another, their joined soul will, without a doubt, always find its way back to its other half. And that's the end of chapter 1. So how fun was that? Yeah. So you guys basically got to see me automatic write 4 pages and be able to extract from those 4 pages 14 type page chapter. And that chapter I wrote is totally so different than what I wrote there, because that's initial thought, and what I've extracted here is the subverted thoughts. So creative writing is a beautiful thing, and anybody can do it. You just gotta start. Just start. Pen and paper. And then write stuff out. And then take what you wrote out and rewrite it. Read it, rewrite it, and you'll hear stuff differently, and write it how you hear it. And then the third time is so extract it. See, I don't need to do 3 because I've been extracting for decades, but that's the process. So I love you. Tomorrow I'm really gonna get into chapter 2, which I think is going to discuss my theory on why I do not believe in marriage. Yeah. Marriage does not equal love. Marriage equals control. Anyway, that's controversial, I know, but that's what I am. That's who I am. A little pot stirrer. Stirring that shit pot, eh? No, it's the pot of, like, I stir the pot so people can sit there and see things from different angles. Because people are so fucking set in their ways. And that's dangerous. Because you need to learn how to adjust your belief system. Because your belief system creates your reality. So if you're unwilling to adjust your belief system, then your reality is incapable of change. You're welcome. Wisdom, right? Anyway, I love you. I'll be back.